right into it because let's get into SF5 because surprisingly enough, it's an SF5 update. For those who don't know, as we've been talking about Street Fighter in our past episode a little bit, just with the online tournament coming up and how it's not a main event. It's going to be like an exhibition, something on the side, but it's not going to be one of the main events for this Evo. But yet, the SF5 dev team came out and announced yesterday that this is their words. They're like, because of the overwhelming support, positive support of people for the game, for Championship Edition, how much people like Championship Edition, and the direction they took the game and where it's going, they officially announced that they're going to do one more Season V or Season 5, and they actually said last, and they used the words last in the phrasing of the tweet, of the announcement. So Season 5 is going to be the last season, probably just support for the game, and it's going to be 5 new characters in 3 stages. And they're going to announce more. Probably like, closer to Evo or later this summer, with just like updates. But they gave no indication on who, on when, what was a release date looking like in terms of when we will expect to see things. But they said they'll have more news with time goes on, probably by Evo. Let's just keep your eyes peeled. But let's just get into this because I feel like we've been having this SF5 argument, back in our past lives as Future Perfect, and even now, just over the years, just because this is the Street Fighter game of our time right now. After 4.
Let me bar this whole shit up real quick.
Ball it up. No. Let's just go straight into it. Who do we think is coming? Who's going to be the last 5 characters they're going to put into the game? I'm not even going to give them. I'm not even going to entertain Capcom like I have over the years. Who do you think the last 5 characters are going to be?
I think we're going to get 2 new characters.
Who cares about stages?
Then I think Viper and Oro. And I can't think of a hype last character except for like maybe Yun.
If you're going by the leaks, they did say Viper. They said Oro. Sodom came up, but I don't think we're going to get. I don't know. Maybe. Since this 5, who knows? I know we're not getting Makoto. I'm waiting for Street Fighter 6 or whatever next game for another shot at Makoto. I highly doubt. I hope Capcom can maybe eat my words. I hope so, because they pretty much gave her normals and her axe kick to Seth. And I was like, yup. An SF5 past behavior, that's a sign that instead of bringing the character into the game, they just took their tools and gave it to other characters, and that has pretty much sealed the coffin on other characters we people thought were going to be in the game. So I think that is pretty much Makoto's nail in the coffin. I want to be wrong. I really do. I don't even know if she's enough to make me play the game again, but I don't know. But I would say this. I would say Viper. I do agree Viper, Oro, because Oro was highly requested from Third Strike. So I do think.
Oh, we might get Abel.
Abel, yeah, actually Abel, because of the story mode, which, by the way, they never even finished. They said they're going to come out on part 2, but that's not important. I don't know how that might come out at the last season, or they might drop it. Who knows?
Nah, they're not doing that.
They're not. Abel, DeCapri. I think DeCapri is coming.
I don't think
back.
they're bringing her either, although that would be cool, because I felt like she was a little hard at first, but then like I did actually enjoy the character.
Yeah.
Even though you can just backdash her ultra too.
Yeah. Over the sphere?
Nah, the other one.
Oh, really? You could backdash her ultra too?
Backdash that. When I learned that, I was like, I'm not telling a soul.
Wow.
I was like, I never know if I get into a tournament and I need that.
After. Oh yeah, by the way, you can backdash it. What?
Backdash. Yeah, you backdash that. It doesn't
non-personal. Yeah. Because that was because that was like there was the 2 versions. There's the one you got the air version and then the straight, like you could backdash it. Yeah, I'm not even trying to get caught up into it. I ain't even trying to get caught up into it. But I would say Oro, Viper, DeCapri, and then I'll say 2 new characters. I think it's going to be 3 characters we had in the past, and there's going to be like 2 new characters.
I think we might get Yun because we need for this season. For season 5, we still need one character that's like super hype. For season 3, it was
Oro's that character. I
Sagat.
honestly think Oro's that character. I think Oro's the hype character.
Nah, he's not.
It's Oro. I
So
say
season 1, I felt like it was Urian. Season 2 was Akuma. I don't remember it was Akuma and then 4 new characters.
yeah, and I feel like it wasn't. I
Yeah,
mean,
so they gave us Akuma early.
was people asking for Akuma like that? Like, I'm trying to think if people were really like Akuma. I think we just got him, and people were like, oh my god, they gave us Akuma.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that people were asking for him, but it was hype to get him.
Sagat,
Sagat was 3.
Sagat was requested heavily since like season 1.
Now 4, they came out swinging. They gave us Gil and Seth.
Yep.
Which nobody really wanted Seth, even though I was like, I didn't think Seth would get in because Seth and Gil have the same voice actor. But then when I saw Seth, I'm like, oh, this nigga nasty.
You mean Stephanie?
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
So they need one more person to go out with a bang. And they have all the boss characters in there. And I think they should – I would prefer not even to see the characters. I want to see, Viper, Oro, give niggas Dudley, Yun.
It's the last season, though.
And then,
I don't know if they might go all classic. Like classic characters. The last season – I think they got character. I think what it is, because you know how it'd be. Like this was like this even in 4. Like how certain character designs came out after the fact. Like there were certain characters that they were contemplating on adding to the game. Because someone in this game, who was it? Oh my God, who was it that they were gonna come out in 4, but they came out in this game instead. Oh God, who was it? And I was like, wow, that was actually surprising. Oh my God, who was it? Damn, and I think it might have been like
I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I gotta find out if hold me to it, man. I gotta find out because I was like, because that's what I think it is too. I think what it is, it might even take one of the characters that they were thinking of like scrapping from 4, or characters that even from earlier seasons that they might have done for 5. Like there's still certain characters like Rashid's aide, like Rashid's aide that has like the turban and the mustache. People like, oh
yeah, we don't need that
grappler. You might be a grappler.
Listen,
I'm trying to get my Turkish.
Viper, Oro, Abel, Dudley, Yun. Now, that would be clutch.
If I don't get Abel, I want a Turkish grappler. All right,
or give niggas Fuerte. Give niggas that run and stop fears.
Whoa, no way they're gonna pull Fuerte out of the blue.
They're not.
No way. If they did, nah, they won't do that. No, they won't. No.
I feel like because they already have Rashid, that they wouldn't give us Fuerte.
They wouldn't. The amount of nut they can't. We can't afford a nut twice.
I feel like in this engine, Fuerte would be like top tier too.
Yeah, because Fuerte, he'll probably have shit that's he'll either be really good or really bad. I feel like there's no real like some characters came out in the middle, kind of like I feel like Honda when it came out with Honda. I feel like Honda was one of the classic characters they did really well. I actually really do like Honda. Like how they redesigned Honda. Yeah, I feel like Honda for the classic characters, I would put them as my top 3 best redesigned characters coming into this game. I would say for Honda, I think they did him well. Like art, like how he looks, how he plays, everything. But if they put Fuerte, I think he'll either be really busted or he's gonna be trash. Like he's
gonna be. They're not gonna put him in because I feel like he'd be straight up busted.
Dog, they'll put him in and make him trash and then buff him later. Like just buff him later and then he'll just be busted.
But I don't think we're getting it. I just don't even know if he fits in like the overall story of it.
Damn.
We'll probably get like Dan.
Stop. I'm ending the topic right there. Who's listening?
But I do have some theories about why we're getting this stuff.
You trying to let them out now, or you trying to?
I'm gonna be quick. I think one, part of me feels like this is planned, and
the only reason how,
because they were gonna support Street Fighter V for another year as they're developing the next Street Fighter or the next fighting game. Period.
Yep.
So I think they had this idea where it's just like, hey, if development for the next major fighting game takes longer than we expected, then we can always roll with this plan. And with COVID happening, then it's like, hey, because we can't put the resources to developing a new Street Fighter like we want to, we can go with our backup plan of releasing more characters. I don't think this is like, hey guys, thanks for the support. We're gonna do this because
Exactly.
the way they marketed season 4 was like, no, that's it. Like you get all the characters,
Facts.
and I'm gonna be pissed if I have to pay for these next 5 characters after you said that we get everything.
For Championship Edition. For real.
Yeah.
Big, real, actual, factual. And I think we're gonna have to pay something. It might be like $10.
Oh, we're going to have to. It's
Have
gonna be 30. It's gonna be like $20 or $30.
Nah,
But we're gonna have to pay, and
I'm not paying any new.
But I knew this was going to happen.
Nope. We ain't paying shit.
Because again, like the game is doing decent. People are still playing the game because there's a tournament scene behind it. But ultimately, though, like it's cheaper and like much easier to do to develop like characters remotely for a game that's already has an established engine and everything.
Yep. And probably characters they had in their back pocket too, that they were probably either saving for the next game or characters like, yo, we could just drop them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they've designed more characters than they put out into this game.
For sure.
They scrapped some people, but that doesn't mean they just wiped the files off their hard drive.
Straight
just
up.
The characters aren't in. Like Young could be in that game. In the tub. Don't know. Like Young could be in there, like been created and everything for the game, and just not included into the, the files for the game.
Because they learned over the years from SFX.
But it makes sense to have this plan. It's like, hey, this is what we're looking towards. If things go behind, we always have these characters that we can put out. Like, there's no way that they're just spur of the moment. Well, hey guys, this is doing
five characters. Like they had 5 ready. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Like the whole idea of a season 5 has never been a spur of the moment decision. They've always planned this.
Especially
they weren't planning to drop more characters.
Happen. Yeah. Because you would think like when CPT started, when like the Pro Tour started, which was to start like what, in a week? Like in June, the online circuit, like that's when they'll announce that there's a season 5 or somewhere down the line, right? But they announced it like early. I get it. The Pro Tour is going to start like literally like the Pro Tour supposedly was to start after like June 4th or whatever. But you would think they would save that announcement for when the Pro Tour started instead, or sometime in like Evo, like something like that, right? Like Evo.
No,
maybe they'll have something.
You would save that announcement either for Evo or for the finale of the Pro Tour. But they knew they were going to do a season 5. So season 5 would have just been like balance changes. That's really it. But because of like the pandemic making it more difficult to work, it's easier and it buys you more time for Street Fighter 6 to put out 5 characters, because you're designing characters in an already established environment rather than creating a whole new environment and game for said characters. And I'm sure they have models of characters they didn't use. They have models of characters. They have the dolls already for crying out loud. Like we might get DiCaprio because pretty much all that stuff's there.
I feel like they showed it what DiCaprio we got was just like DiCaprio they didn't finish. And like just the way her moves felt, I'm like, you can't put this much work in a character for I'm thinking for as in Capcom. You don't put as much work in a character if you don't have additional plans for this character. Shoot, we might even get Peter the cop. Shoot, we don't know, man. From the story mode, we don't know. We don't know.
So that's my whole thing. It's just like I don't believe that we're just getting that this is just a spur of the moment thing. And maybe that's just the way people are receiving it, and that's not like how they're communicating it. But I feel like I know for a fact that this is something that that was planned. Maybe not planned to give us characters like initially, but their plan was to give them more time for the next fighting game. And with this going on, they absolutely need more time for the fighting game. And the company can't afford not to put anything out. You know what I'm saying?
Because they were dead silent for a bit like after all that CE Championship Edition was out, they went radio silent for a bit. You know?
Yeah, they can't
Well, big
afford to
enough.
not have anything for a while.
Yeah, like and we said
So-
last announcement was like how CPT going online. So you're right. Before we go on, what do you think? Just real quick, hot take. What do you think the next fighting game is going to be? That they're
I don't
working
think it's
on.
going to be a Marvel.
I think it's Marvel. I think
I
it's.
don't.
I think so. If it's not Marvel, it's Darkstalkers.
I don't think we're going to Darkstalkers ever again.
I think is one those IP on those characters like I feel like they did a lot of gauging. I think it's something they probably had in their pocket because they did a lot of fishing and gauging with like releasing Darkstalkers, coming out with Jetta for MVCI. I mean we have Darkstalkers over the years pop up in another
Yeah,
game.
there's been some costumes in 5 too.
Costumes in 5.
I'm still not sold on the fact that we are getting a Darkstalkers.
Because Darkstalkers actually was a really big series for Capcom in the back in the day. Like it was a really like huge title when it came out. I think just for like the same thing with Samurai Showdown, they might go for the nostalgia and try to revive the series almost from the beginning. My hot take is that they're gonna try to do a similar like Samurai Showdown and try to revive the series in a way that continues but also like revamps like the whole series. Because with Samurai Showdown, like how they did it, even with the game that like a lot of people didn't know, is just they just pulled the route of, well, let's educate people about the game as we release more information on the game and the releases and stuff like that. So by the time the game comes out, either the fans will help sell the game through hype, and then we will do our job with marketing and market the game in a way that people will learn about it and be somewhat knowledgeable when it drops. Like they won't learn about the game when it comes out. They'll know the game well enough when it does. Like with Samurai Showdown, like the history of Samurai Showdown. Like what is Darkstalkers? They literally had that for Samurai Showdown. I think that's what I think. That's my hot take.
I think I feel like
It's
the
not
next
Marvel.
game will be a versus game, but I don't think it'll be a Marvel game. I feel like Disney's going to give too much like pushback, and we can't afford another MVCI.
I think they can't because they can't afford another MVCI. I think if anything, with Disney, I think what it will come down to would be Marvel Studios will try to vouch on behalf of Disney, or to like even talk to Disney, be like, listen, like we know how to take care of, like literally let us like take just like handle it, like let us handle it so that we don't repeat. The thing is because Disney doesn't want to have another MVCI either though. Like they want to be like tight grip, but Disney doesn't want to let an MVCI though. And I think with Marvel, I know Disney, like as we know, like they can Deadpool 3. Like that got pulled, like the work on Deadpool 3 got like kind of just pulled or put on hold. I don't know, but definitely I mean what it seems like. So Disney is definitely doing some cracking down on their image for Marvel, how they want it. But for the game, I think Marvel will vouch for the fact that like let us handle it. It'll be in the light that you'll like in your branding, and the game will just be well-rounded, just appreciated, because even just for the hype around MVCI was really big. And even with the game the way it looked, and then the game, there's a lot about it just needed just a lot of work. It's just over time when you sit down and play it, you're just like, yeah, like
I think the next thing Capcom should work on is the netcode for 5. But maybe they're just like, hey, we're about to move on from this game anyway, so they probably don't care.
Yeah, especially when next console down the line, because I think the next Street Fighter, it may still be exclusive, but who knows? But again,
yeah, that they need to not do another exclusive Street Fighter.
I don't know. I want to say it won't be, and I think it'll be the best if it wasn't, but I don't know. And the thing is,
I feel like that was a bad idea.
It's exclusive. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it was one of the reasons where it helped like my decision. Like I wanted a PS4. And it kind of was just like, now I'm like more pressed to get it because I do want to play Street Fighter. Next Street Fighter, everybody's be playing it. But like, I don't think that's gonna sway my decision again. But yeah, that's what we have right now on SF5 Championship Edition. Their announcement for new characters. Stay tuned. We'll definitely cover whatever news updates we get. Yeah, stay tuned for that. And for that, you need to like and subscribe. To go